Okay, all right, here we go. So let's do our example, and then I'm going to get to it here in a second. Now remember, tomorrow, all late work's due. That page 124, 125, anything that I've given you, due by tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't check it, it stays to 0. And then grades go down from there, because I haven't entered an actual score for those missing ones.
Finished all of those.
Okay, good.
Finishing them. Oh, no.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. All right, so here we go. We're on section 5.4. Okay, 5.4. It's using proportions. Okay, so we've been talking about proportions and ratios and simplifying fractions. We're going to start the review process for the test tomorrow, and we'll kind of show you that, and the test will be next week. Even though I want to make sure that we know what we're doing here. So proportions, here's how it works for the proportion. We're going to do a story problem today with a proportion. I'm going to keep it pretty easy, just make sure that it makes sense for how we're going to work it, and then we'll jump right in. So here's the idea. So this is we're going to do one example, and then we'll get to the homework today. So we'll do one story problem, one example, and then we'll have homework. And this homework is due today.
Okay, I'm
not going to tell you yet. So.
Oh, I bet I can find out awful quick.
What?
I bet I can find out awful quick.
I bet you couldn't.
It worked.
So.
Can I use the restroom quick?
You better go quick. All right, here we go. Here's my example. It'll be on the board when you get back. All right, so here's the story problem. So, at Iowa State University. So, Iowa State University.
Oh. Or you know what you should get?
Yes.
A bunch of those tack strips and get traits of cyclone things.
That'd be good. All right, so at Iowa State University, there are 158 students
What?
in the math
Oh,
education.
Is this true?
No, I'm making it up.
Okay.
Math education class. If there are 25,493 students total, how many math majors will there be
Total.
next year
What?
if the student population is 30,200?
You got something. Okay.
Okay, I like your, you can just look at the story problem, you don't need to write it all down, we'll just talk about the math, and the math is the part that I'd like you to write down. Usually how this works, the first sentence usually gives you your formula. So, on this particular case, and again I'm making up these numbers, it's kind of on the ballpark of what you're doing. Okay, Iowa State University, there are 158 students in the math teachers ed program. Okay, so math teachers ed, not engineering or anything like that. And there's a certain number of students at the school. The goal is to figure out how many students will be in the math major program if you have a bigger population next year. Okay, so here's the idea. On the first fraction, what number goes on the top?
158.
158. So we're going to go 158 students. So if you want to label it, students will be on the top. Okay. On the bottom, what was the total population?
25,493.
That was the total pop. Okay. If we go to next year, the population is 30,000.
Oh, I know how to do this.
Okay. You need to figure out how many students are in the math program. Now, here's the big thing. Before you attempt these problems, you guys know how to solve them. You have to make sure that the labels are across from each other. So like if this is total population on the bottom, that's great, that's total pop. Then on the top, you have individual students. So you gotta make sure that your labels are the same. So these are my math students.
Divided by,
Okay? Alright, what do we get?
187.1729.
Okay.
29 bar.
187.17, Alright, and this is students. So this is a rough approximation. There should be, 187 math students in that program next year. So they're going up. And that number should make sense. The reason being is that your population's getting larger, right? So the population of that class should be getting bigger as well, in theory. And this is how they predict if programs will lose money or if they gain
you know
money.
what we should do?
Ah.
Go on around going in that program. Dang it.
I don't think it will show me that online. So, alright, questions on what you're going to be doing with your story prompts. The big thing is setting up the first one and then setting up the second one. Here's your homework today. It is due before we get to our little project that we've been working on the last couple days.
How many questions are there?
Okay, 11. 11.
You want me to see?
Okay, where is my, oh, there it is. There it is, numbers. Page 133, numbers 1 through 11.
I don't know, it wasn't doing that.
Okay, it should be easy. You guys just did this in a few seconds. That's the type of math I want to see. You're writing down your fractions, and you're solving it right away. It should not take you very long. You guys are very, very good at this proportion stuff. You have calculators in front of you. The trick will be, can you set up the fractions correctly? Then solve it. Okay, you do need to have labels on your answers, so make sure you're labeling. I'll sit over at you guys, help you out, and when you get done, then we'll move on to our little project today. So.
Our little project's more big project.